The ocean is definitely the most dynamic subject that I can photograph. It's a constant moving force, it's in flux, it's always changing. The way that it reflects light it's inspiring and it's challenging as well. I love how everything comes together in a big symphony. It's a fusion of power and all the elements aligning. I'm really drawn to more dramatic scenery, so I'm often finding myself on coastlines that are quite rugged and off the beaten track, and that's where I find the inspiration really comes out. But when you get that brief 5-10 minute window where everything glitters and shines in gold, it's pretty special and it's fleeting, and maybe that's the beauty of it, just knowing that it's not going to last. When I'm out there, it's pretty easy to just be present in the moment and not think about the past or the future, and just be right there. And I guess when I'm using my camera, it's a way to be 100% present in the real time and just think about and admire all the small details and all those things that we so easily overlook, and things that I overlooked for the majority of my life until I picked up a camera. So it's just a chance to be able to soak that up and to just be there. Essentially just kind of let nature do the talking and I just do the listening. Just be a quiet observer and just see what speaks to me on that given day. And it's really a way that I feel myself. It's almost like meditation, where you're just so zoned in the present, and then when I finally am finished and maybe put the camera down and just, take a breath and soak it all in, and it feels like just you've had an opportunity to switch off, disengage from all the noise in the world that we live in, and then truly connect with something so much bigger and grander. The landscape around us, as we all know, is constantly changing, and it's so evident here in the South Island, where all the glaciers are in a heavy retreat. The opportunity to photograph these glaciers a few thousand years ago would have just been absolutely incredible. So much of the landscape would have been filled with ice, and we can see now, just especially in just the last couple of decades, how far back a lot of these glaciers are retreating and just completely disappearing as well. There's still some areas though in the Southern Alps where you can get up close with these glaciated terrains and glaciers. And it was pretty cool recently to go up inside a glacier and photograph the ice structures and the ice caves, which are there for a very brief moment in time. And I enjoy that challenge of, essentially somewhat documenting a given moment in time. I'd love to think that my kids could go out and see the things that I've seen right here in the South Island, but the reality is that it's just going to be very different.
Oh, I'm hot, wasn't it? You okay? You reckon, eh? Good? See we go, bro. You should do it.
One of the things I get most excited about with my photographs is just showing my kids when I get home what I've been out seeing and exploring, and I love seeing their faces light up. You know, I feel like with myself I have that childlike curiosity that's always been a part of my photography and still is to this day. Just that sense of excitement and asking myself, what if this happens at this place when I'm there? So showing them these images and what's out in nature, and I just can't wait to be able to bring them along with me.
So that's like the outside, and like that crack goes in, and then it gets lighter and darker as you go.
Yeah. And all this ice was like as thick as a truck.
Yeah.
That's why it's cool to get up and explore these places while we can, because it's always changing.
Yeah.
Especially the glaciers in New Zealand. They're slowly disappearing because of the warm weather. You know, it's been really warm, so the glaciers just keep melting, getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Getting out in an area that's pretty conducive to inspiration and creativity, and just being there at the right time. So it's kind of just aligning all of those different factors. So having the right area, the right type of conditions, and then just being in the right mindset. That's probably my favourite thing, just reacting in real time and just seeing what speaks to me in that given moment, instead of just having a tunnel vision and trying to execute one specific image. I think I just like to be out in that right area and then just see what happens in the moment. When I first explored mountain landscapes and started travelling, that to me felt more like a home, being around the mountains. And then when I came over to the South Island and started exploring Fiordland, it truly felt like I was home for the first time in my life. I never really felt anything like that, just being amidst the forest, the dense mossy rainforest. It was pretty grounding, and for me it just felt like this is where I needed to be. I know when I was struggling with my mental health, personally, I felt quite numb. There was like a weight on my shoulders, and just, I guess numb is the best word to describe it. Not really feeling any emotion either way. And it was obviously pretty dark, and one of the hardest things I've had to go through in my life. When I picked up a camera, the thing that I was drawn to the most was just the way that nature had a way of making me feel alive again and actually giving me some kind of emotion. And I've always been drawn to places and moments in nature that have stirred me up on the inside. So not just a feeling of happiness, but actually a feeling of absolute awe and complete reverence for creation. A place like Fiordland is what encompasses all of that for me, particularly on a rainy day when the mountains are covered with literally thousands of waterfalls, and you can hear the rivers just roaring, and the echo of the rain and the waterfalls and the river all combined just reverberates in the valleys. And I feel absolutely alive when I'm out there with the rain on my face, just dripping wet, and it's absolutely my happy place. And it's been over 10 years, this whole journey for me, and it's like I still carry with me, every time I'm out with the camera, I'm carrying with me that very first time I went out to capture a sunrise, and that flicker of hope and light that I felt. Every time I go out and shoot, it's still there. And being in a place like Fiordland in that type of environment is just that constant reminder of that bigger picture. It makes me feel alive, and it just reminds me that life is worth living. There's so much out there that can be appreciated and enjoyed. And again, that's that's what I'm trying to put into these images. I just want people to realise that, yeah, life is worth living. There's hope, and the world is beautiful. We just got to get out there and enjoy it.